Trump just passed 3 crypto laws. Could one be the beast system? 3 significant crypto-related bills were passed by the U.S. House of Representatives on July 17, 2025, during what was dubbed Crypto Week. These bills, which mark a historic step toward federal regulation of digital assets. The first is the Genius Act. It establishes the first federal regulatory framework for stablecoins. The law is seen as a milestone, legitimizing stablecoins and encouraging adoption by major institutions like J.P. Morgan Chase, Bank of America, and potentially retailers like Walmart and Amazon. The second was a Clarity Act. It creates a framework for digital assets. The third was Anti-CBDC Surveillance State Act. Donald Trump has consistently expressed strong opposition to central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, describing them as a threat to individual freedom, privacy, and financial stability. Trump vowed to block the creation of a CBDC, calling it a dangerous threat to freedom, and likening it to government tyranny. He claimed a digital dollar could allow the government to take money from people's bank accounts without their knowledge. Upon taking office, Trump signed an executive order titled Strengthening American Leadership in Digital Financial Technology, which explicitly prohibits U.S. agencies from establishing, issuing, or promoting CBDCs, citing risks to financial stability, individual privacy, and U.S. sovereignty. The order also revoked President Biden's 2022 Executive Order 14,067. You will be shocked when you find 7 reasons that the world will accept the new beast surveillance and payment system. Reason 1. Financial security and convenience. The first reason people will embrace the beast system is the promise of ultimate financial security and convenience. And this promise will be backed by technology that makes current payment systems look primitive by comparison. Imagine never having to worry about losing your wallet, having your credit card stolen, or being robbed of cash. This isn't science fiction. It's the natural evolution of payment technology that's already underway. Your hand, your face, your iris, these can't be stolen, lost, or forgotten. They're unique to you. They're always with you, and they can be verified instantly anywhere in the world. We're already seeing this technology deployed. Apple Pay uses your fingerprint or face to authorize payments. Amazon's Palm payment technology lets you pay by placing your hand over a scanner. MasterCard is testing heartbeat and brainwave biometrics for payment authorization. But the current systems are just the beginning. The final system will be completely seamless. Walk into any store anywhere in the world, pick up what you want, and walk out. The system will automatically identify you, charge your account, and complete the transaction without any action on your part. Young people who have grown up with digital payments and are comfortable with biometric security will see this as an obviously superior system. Why would anyone want to go back to the inefficiency and insecurity of physical money? Older people who have been victims of financial fraud or who struggle with complex payment systems will welcome the simplicity and security of biometric payments. Business owners will love the elimination of credit card processing fees, the instant settlement of transactions. And here's the psychological hook. Once enough people start using the system, those who resist will be increasingly inconvenienced and excluded. Merchants will stop accepting cash because the biometric system is faster and cheaper. Banks will stop issuing cards because the old system becomes obsolete. Eventually, participating in the economy will require participation in the system. But financial convenience is just the beginning. The second reason goes even deeper into human psychology. Reason 2. Health and safety protection. Reason 2. Health and safety protection. Reason 3. Security and crime prevention. Reason 4. Environmental and social responsibility. Reason 5. Social connection and status. Reason 6. The crisis that demands it. Reason 7. Government and institutional mandates is that governments and institutions worldwide will require it for participation in society. Unlike the previous reasons that rely on attraction and desire, this reason introduces necessity and compliance. The pathway to mandates is already being established through current policy developments. But the final system will go far beyond health certificates and identity verification. It will become the universal requirement for all institutional participation. Government services will be the first to require the mark. The mark will provide instant, tamper-proof identification for any government interaction. Employment will gradually become dependent on the mark. Eventually, hiring someone without the mark will seem as outdated as hiring someone without a phone number or email address. Small businesses will be incentivized to require the mark through reduced insurance premiums, simplified tax reporting, and streamlined operations. Cash transactions will become so inconvenient and expensive that most businesses will refuse to accept them. Professional licensing boards will require the mark for license renewals and continuing education. Doctors, lawyers, teachers, and other professionals will need the mark to maintain their credentials and practice their professions. 5 things that will happen to those who refuse the Antichrist global system. Number 1. You will be cut off from the system. The first thing that will happen when you refuse the Antichrist's global system is instant disconnection. Not a slow phase out. Not a warning. It will happen the moment you say, no. The Bible tells us plainly that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast. Revelation 13:17. This is not just about shopping, it's about your survival. Cut off financially. Your bank account? Frozen. Your credit cards? Declined. Your paycheck? Stopped. And remember, this will be a cashless world. The mark won't be just an option. It will be your access key to the global economy. Without it, no buying food, no paying rent, no medical treatment. Right now, over 90% of the world's money exists only in digital form, not cash. This means shutting someone out of the system is as easy as flipping a digital switch. Cut off socially. But it's more than money. Your social ID, linked to your mark, will also be gone. Without it, you won't be able to travel on planes, trains, or buses. Enter certain cities or checkpoints. Log in to global communication networks. You'll be erased from digital society. When the system is everything, being outside it is the same as being invisible, except to those hunting you. And here's what most people miss. Being cut off doesn't just hit your wallet. It hits your mind. The fear of hunger, the fear of watching your family go without, the fear of being marked as dangerous to the public. The system will use this pressure to break you without touching you. You'll remember the days when you could swipe a card or tap a phone to buy food. The mark won't just be a payment method, it will be your tracking device. Refuse it, and you'll be flagged. Every checkpoint, every camera, every biometric scan will alert the system. This one is outside. This one is non-compliant. You'll be easy to spot, not because you're visible, but because you're the only one missing from the network. Some modern surveillance grids can scan an entire crowd and identify individuals in under 3 seconds, even if they're wearing masks or hats. And here's the sobering truth. We'll talk about what happens after you're cut off, because disconnection is just the start. Once the system knows you're out, It comes for you. Refusing the Antichrist system will feel like cutting your own lifeline, because the system will make sure you believe there's no life outside of it. But is that really true? Or is there a life beyond the beast's control that the system doesn't want you to know about? We'll find out in the next step. Number 2. You will be hunted and exposed. When you refuse the Antichrist's global system, you don't just opt out. You become a target. The Bible is crystal clear, and that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Revelation 13:15. This isn't just about being ignored or canceled, it's about being pursued. At first, it will feel like the system is simply flagging you. Your account stops working. Your ID doesn't scan. You get a notice. Non-compliant citizen. But then, the pressure escalates. Your name appears on lists. Your photo flashes on public billboards. People are told you are a danger to peace and safety. The moment you say no to the beast, you step onto a watch list that never sleeps. And here's the worst part. It won't just be soldiers hunting you. It will be your own neighbors. The Antichrist's propaganda will convince the world that anyone who refuses the system is selfish, hateful, and dangerous to society. The people you used to trust will become informants, and they'll believe they're doing the right thing. Jesus warned, "And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake." Matthew 10:22. Even today, in some nations, neighbors and even family members are paid rewards to report non-compliant citizens to authorities. Facial recognition systems can scan thousands of faces in a crowd in seconds. We are already living in a prototype of the Antichrist's hunt. If your face could be tracked from the moment you leave your home, where would you go? How would you hide? At first, you think you can keep moving. You find shelter with other believers. You keep your head down. But every day, the net closes in. Drones sweep rural areas. Digital checkpoints are placed at every road. Thermal imaging spots you even in darkness. And then, the knock at the door. Your heart pounds. You know they've found you. You hear the voice of a friend outside. But when you open the door, soldiers are standing there. You realize your friend told them where you were, not because they hate you, but because they were convinced it was for the greater good. When the beast rises, privacy dies. There will be nowhere to hide except in the shadow of the Almighty. The hunt isn't just for your location, it's for your loyalty. The system wants you alive long enough to kneel. The Antichrist doesn't care about arresting you quietly. He will make your capture a spectacle. But the truth? They're not offering life. They're offering chains. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. Revelation 2:10. And this is only the second thing that happens when you refuse the system. If you think being hunted is the worst of it, wait until you see what happens when you are dragged into the public square and given the final choice: allegiance or execution. Number 3. You will face public pressure and betrayal. This is where the emotional battle begins. Refusing the Antichrist's global system isn't just a political choice. It's personal. You won't just face soldiers and officials. You'll face people you love. In the final days, loyalty will no longer be measured by love. It will be measured by compliance. Picture this. Your neighbor comes over, not to share food, but to ask why you haven't taken the mark. At first, it's curiosity. Then it's concern. Then it's accusation. You try to explain, it's not just about buying and selling. It's about worship. It's about allegiance. But the more you talk, the more their face changes. They can't understand why you'd risk everything for a belief they see as outdated. Now imagine this. Not just in one country, but worldwide. The people around you will tell you, it's just a mark. God will understand. But will He? The last voice you hear before you die might be temptation whispering, just give in. The Bible makes it clear. If any man worship the beast and his image and receive his mark, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God. Revelation 14:9-10. There's no middle ground, no second chance after this. Your body will want to survive. Every cell will scream, say yes, take the mark, live. But then, something else happens. The Spirit of God inside you whispers, this is not the end. The moment your body falls, your soul will rise. For the Antichrist, your death is punishment. For Jesus, it's promotion. The Greek word for witness in Revelation 20 is martes, from which we get the word martyr. In God's eyes, a martyr is not a victim. They are a champion. And here's something to remember. This scene is closer than we think. Digital IDs, biometric scanning, cashless economies, these are not random. They are the rails the beast system will run on. One day, this choice will not be theory. It will be your reality. The choice will not be about survival. It will be about allegiance. When the Antichrist offers you life in exchange for your soul, remember this. Losing your life for Christ means gaining eternity with Him. Number 5. You will receive eternal honor and reward. You've lost everything in this world. The global system cut you off. You couldn't buy food. You couldn't work. You were hunted, betrayed, threatened with death. And then they took your life. The beast thought that was the end. But Revelation says that's just the beginning. They overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto the death. Revelation 12:11. From earthly rejection to heavenly reception, from being cast out to being called in. The moment you step out of this life for Christ, you step into His presence. And there, in the throne room of heaven, something happens. Jesus stands. He looks at you, and He says, "Well done, good and faithful servant. Enter into the joy of thy Lord." Matthew 25:23. The crown of mockery the world gave you is replaced with a crown of glory in the kingdom. And then the promise of Revelation 7 unfolds before your eyes. They shall hunger no more, neither thirst any more. For the Lamb which is in the midst of the throne shall feed them, and shall lead them unto living fountains of waters, and God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes. Revelation 7:16. Think about that. Every tear you cried in hiding, every prayer you whispered in the dark, every moment you felt alone, God Himself will wipe those tears away. Not an angel, not a fellow believer. From the cold floors of prison cells to streets of gold. From being branded as a criminal to being clothed in white robes of righteousness. And you won't just be a face in the crowd. Revelation 20 says, "You will reign with Christ for 1,000 years. And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And they lived and reigned with Christ 1,000 years." Revelation 24. Can you imagine? Ruling alongside the King you once confessed, you will join a company of believers called overcomers, men and women throughout history who faced fire, swords, lions, and guillotines for their faith. They will welcome you not as a stranger, but as family. The prophets who were stoned, the apostles who were martyred, the nameless believers whose blood became the seed of the church. They will stand beside you in white garments, all equal before the throne. What the beast thought was your defeat